Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. I'm told that today's song features no less than 12 classics, like some of the most recognizable melodies in classical music, and horns. I don't know how VoicePlay is going to pull this off, but I hope that you will join me in trying to pick out melodies from this list as we listen to how VoicePlay weaves them all together. Let's get to it. Ooh. Ooh. Hey, yo. Let's talk about that sheet music. Name that song. Right. We have, I believe this is going to be our very first example of some music. We're going to have some Bach in here. What, Toccata and Fugue? I believe. Beginners do not attempt. Hopefully it comes on organ. There we go. Boom. Wow. This is so amazingly put together already. We have to go back to the beginning and make note of a couple things here. First of all, I think they're using the same set that they use for In the Hall of the Mountain King. It feels like, I think we're picking up on sort of where that left off. I absolutely love their rendition of In the Hall of the Mountain King. It's just such a legendary song, first of all, but the way that they're able to tell stories without any lyrics, just vocal expression, just notes and articulation that isn't words, it's brilliant. I love it. I love it. I love it. Also, we have Rachel Potter instead of Elizabeth, I'm forgetting her last name, it starts with a D. Rachel Potter is our invited guest this time. We've seen her in some other things from VoicePlay. She's just absolutely stunning. I loved her in The Little Mermaid especially. Let's go back here. We're already back at the beginning. There were already 3 songs that have been introduced. So we have some Bach immediately with Ellie. The ambiance is on point, y'all. Like they don't even need to sing though we want them to sing, but the ambiance already. I'm like, oh yeah, good sound. Nice rattle along with the notes. Yeah. Jeff's voice there reminds me of the way that the organ makes the entire church rattle when it hits that low note. Or it's like that moment where you're like, oh my gosh, how is this church staying together? All of the walls should be crumbling. It's that moment. And when she gets conjured up, makes me feel like she's a female Dracula. This is so beautiful. I didn't know that Rachel had that classical edge to her voice. It's really a great combination, I think, for them because she's going into a very pop-centered area for certain moments and then bringing more loft into the sound, which gives it that more classical, operatic kind of approach. Truly, opera is designed to not have microphones, right? So recording opera, in my opinion, I think that when you record an opera singer, it often doesn't sound quite right. Their sound is just meant to be so immense, and a lot of times with mics, you're trying to capture something that's more specific. And so if you're going to place it within all of these voices like this, you don't want somebody whose entire voice is breaking the whole spectrum, right? You want something that's got that essence of classical, but maybe has a little more narrow focus so that it has room for all of these other things to be happening. And she's got that beautiful loft and ping and a little more uh, forward resonance threading, if we will. It works so perfectly in this mix already. Also, she's got so much agility with that classical sound. Okay, I'm gonna just let it play for a moment. By the way, this is Mozart, if you haven't already guessed it. Some Eine kleine Nachtmusik. Right there. You're like, oh yeah, I recognize that one. Right there had that a lot more loft. There's some Carmen. Ooh, I love the way that we've cut to further forward in the Habanera here. So, right, we're only getting pieces of each of these songs, but I think they're taking some of the most memorable moments and some of the moments that are also most dynamic. So that bottom line will repeat over and over and over before changing. Instead, we took really where it was able to capture the main melody and then do a fun shift. So really good selection of those awesome classical moments. The other thing that is blowing my mind here is how Layne has decided to add vocal percussion. All right, so Layne, within VoicePlay, Layne is our vocal percussionist, though I understand that everybody can do a little bit on that too. Just, I think in the same way that everybody is able to kind of swap parts for the most part. I don't know if all the guys can see subharmonics, but when you have classical music, it wasn't written for a drum kit. And a lot of vocal percussion, to my ears, is often trying to mimic in some way a drum kit. So when Layne mentioned to me that they were doing this, I was just thinking to myself, how in the world are you going to fill with the vocal percussion? You've designed and created all of these mouth noises that are like a kick. This is going to be a snare, right? We don't have those in the Habanera in Carmen. That percussion shifted wildly with contemporary music. Instead, we have this massive array of different options that I think it's just very interesting to hear how he's filling it out. I'm going to go back a little bit. Like that moment. That was fun. It was creative. And here, it's like, by adding this vocal percussion loop underneath, it actually takes a song that is from way back when and brings it forward 300 years. It's just jaw-dropping. She's killing it. I love Caesar's inflection here. There's so much character and conversation back and forth between them here. It's like he's pleading. She's like, oh, come on. Oh, it's so fun. Ooh, that's a fun transition. I love the way that everything that they're singing seems to have so much subtext. A lot of singers, they get a song and they look at the lyrics and they think, oh, I know what this song is about, and 99% of the time they're wrong. The lyrics are like just the tip of the iceberg of what a song is about. And sometimes the lyrics will say something and the song is actually intending the exact opposite. You have to understand subtext and bring subtext to a song, I think, to have a really successful performance of it. And people that have an interesting and well fleshed out subtext are the most interesting performers. They really capture their audiences the best. So you don't need words. Again, the conversations here are fascinating. It makes me wonder what exactly they're singing about. Obviously, there is a conversation and a little flair happening right there. The makeup's amazing, by the way. On point. Whoa. But that fill. Ooh, that's so good. That. Oh my gosh. I could listen all day to how Layne creates fills. It's just amazing. Right? It's so creative, but it has such an authentic vibe at the same time. I just love it. I really love it. I want to go back to one other thing right before those fills. I want to point out this idea of pharyngeal space, which I think is fascinating. Everyone in VoicePlay, and obviously also their incredible guest here, is really good at shifting this pharyngeal space. That's when we talk about the larynx, I think most of you kind of think like, oh yeah, that's in this general area. The pharynx is above the larynx. It's like in the back of your throat, essentially. And back there is a back pharyngeal wall. There's a lot of different things that can shift this space in the pharynx. And if you really close it up, kind of like this, right, there's that much room for the sound to bounce around in back there. Layne does that at one point here. And if you really open up, and you can open up in different areas as well, you can create more of that lofty sound to get more of that classical height. So it's so interesting. At one point, I heard Layne with this incredibly closed pharynx, and then Rachel with a very open pharynx, just side by side. And I was like, oh, what a great example of shifting your pharyngeal space to affect your sound. Oh, that was actually it right there, right there. Go away all my things in my lovely bar. Ooh. Yeah, that's fast. So very, very narrowing of that space. And then she opens it up right there. Oh yeah. Cast the spell. It's like we're revisiting the Layne being slightly tipsy in the last one. I loved that section too. I'm going to come back a little bit because I want to mention Jeff's voice has got to be one of the most perfect bass voices, especially in a group. I love the way he layers himself in his own work as well. He's able to really cover such a huge range. But I love it really has an organ pipe kind of body to it, right? It feels like there's a hollow wind tube that's being filled up. I think that there's, when he goes down into those mega, mega lows, the rumble, it makes my stomach churn. Again, I'm reminded of being in an organ loft. I took organ lessons in college at one point, only because I went up to the organ in this auditorium and somebody played it and I felt the whole loft shake and I was like, that's awesome. I want to step on a note and make the room shake. And it's like you're casting a spell, like right, thunder. Anyhow, I think his voice is just a force of nature. There we go. Some blue Danube, I think. Wow, there's like a little horn boop in there. So I think we have some blue Danube. I know that. Oh, sorry. Right before we had some Beethoven as well, which was awesome and delightful. Let me check my list here. Yeah, blue Danube, Johann Strauss the Second, important, and of course the Symphony Number 5 in C minor. You all probably know that one. Such a famous song. They've blended these together with a really beautiful through storyline, and I'm into the idea of, for some reason, Layne just does one of the most hilarious tipsy voices. Has to do with that pharyngeal space again. That is a great example, actually, of something that feels very classical in writing for Rachel's voice, but is executed in a very pop-like style, right? It's much more forward in the sound. She has a lot less pharyngeal space for building that loft in there. Instead, it's very, very pointed. It's awesome to hear her flipping between the styles like this. I had no idea that she had that capability. Just brava to her. Very important. Wow. What? What a crazy shift. Oh my gosh. I like the way that they use that shift as a conversation to bring the book back to her. Bringing some Für Elise there. All right, it makes it sound like this Für Elise in a club, the way that they're slowing down the beat there, filling it out. And what was the other one? The other one is the Dance of the Hours. Is Punkeli. I was like, I know that one, but I can't remember the name of it exactly. Had to refer to my list. Wow. Whoa. Oh my gosh, did he just wiggle his ears? I'm sorry. Did he just wiggle his ears? That's so cute. That's so cute. I love the hair and makeup team. Just a really, really good job. This is hilarious. I have to say, I think that the huge shift in Für Elise for me here really is stemming from the choice in percussion. Right? It almost feels like we've got a dubstep kind of beat that's happening underneath it and elongating it. It's such an unexpected turn on Für Elise, and it feels like almost like it's building up dread. Oh my gosh. Caesar, what was that? Was there an effect there? Or was he just he almost sounds like he had helium. It even looks like he had helium in here with the red dust going in. But also, I know this is a music video. This isn't the actual sound that happens, but his mouth shape there is so perfect for those high notes, like that really high tongue that's just up there and has beautiful flicky L's as well, which is important, I think, especially when you're in a group like this. If you have really liquid L's, those can be hard to really line up well. But then the jaw movement was super, super loose as well, which contributes to that tongue being up. Anyhow, wow, beautiful mouth position, Caesar. Hilarious. Beautiful high note. Ooh. We shifted there quickly. If you thought that this was something from Space Odyssey, you're pretty much correct. But of course, it goes back way, way, way further. I love. There was one specific effect in here that Ellie demonstrated amazingly well. We're gonna go over it a couple times. Right there, he brings in a rattle. This is so cool. I like the way he has so much control of it. It's like it enters, he brings in more intensity to the rattle and then comes off of it. These upper laryngeal structures that are used to create sounds like this are just not studied a whole lot. I am part of some research that is studying them currently. But the thing that fascinates me here is I think you could achieve this with arytenoid cartilages, which are above your two vocal folds, or even your uvula. If you think about like the kind of area where you get a French R rolled from, you could do this with that as well, which are two wildly different structures, tissues. Yet I think it's so cool to have that available as just a palette of different colors that you can add to the sound. And Ellie's control of that is remarkable here. Wow. Right there. Oh, there's a beautiful example of switching to more height in the space, more loft in the space as she went on with that phrase. I'm going to go back a little bit and let's just make sure we have the right names for these. We have thus spoke Zarathustra. Zarathustra? Huh. I don't know. I've always just thought about that as like, that's just some Strauss, but not the Johann Strauss or Johann, depending on how you want to say it, where you're from. Johann would be the right way from his country. And this is going to be Richard Strauss, or Richard Strauss is the most recent one we heard. But then right after that, we're going into, oh, this is hilarious. This is this Offenbach song. When Layne sent me this list, I was like, wait a second. I don't know if I know that song, but it's by Offenbach. I probably know it. Orphée aux Enfers. It's this, it's the can-can. The can-can. I would never have, Orphée aux Enfers. That isn't something I'm used to seeing a ton of on programs, but I know the can-can, and that's by Offenbach, which is really cool. Here we go. So, and here's the end of the Strauss, the Richard Strauss. And there we go, can-can. Ooh, good job. I love the quick shift in there with the transition and between the majors and minors. That was all smashed together faster and really, really, really well. Ooh, I like where we're going with this. Just wanted to point out, I love the way that we have sort of two sides of the vocal percussion are being held. There's one that's here and goes, and it feels like I'm getting like a little ping pong effect going on inside there. I love the production of this, the mixing of it, really brilliant. There's your ping pong. Feels like the spell is finally happening. Oh my gosh. That was adorable. There's a little romance spell that definitely got cast. I love it because that went along with some Romeo and Juliet. That was adorable. And just shaking his head. Aw. That was a nice false fold rattle. Ooh, ooh. So I think we had a song that some of you might recognize from Fantasia, right? Some Mussorgsky there, A Night on Bald Mountain. What? Yeah, a night on Bald Mountain. Mussorgsky. I love the way that that's used in Fantasia. By the way, it's so and Phantasmic. I think it might be used actually. Is it Fantasia or Phantasmic? I just know that I go straight to Disney. It's definitely in Phantasmic. It might also be in Fantasia. Whoa. Yes, they have a spell that they are casting, and it's crazy. Oh my gosh. Wow, there was a run in there that I don't know if is physically possible for a human to do. I was thinking, oh, was there a little extra enhancement there under sound? It really works. I hear a little more digital fingerprint on it because it's building up this spell. That. Oh my gosh, this is like the Hall of the Mountain King on crack now. It's whoa, the way that we almost went into a trap beat with Layne's percussion there is awesome. I love the filling out of the sound. I want to come all the way back here though. It's what are those chanting words from? I know those are from something. Gosh, what's that chanting from? It feels so familiar. But I also, at one point, I could have sworn I heard them talk about a chocolate latte. Maybe I might be hungry. We'll keep going. I do not lose last page, very important. Amazing. Reminds me of something by Brandon Sanderson recently. What is the Frugal Wizard's Handbook or Guide? Anyhow, I love that throughout this, we're getting essentially what I like to describe as like these little sonic squirrels, right? Where I'm like, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. All of these little audio bits that just pull our attention. It is so delightful. It's like I'm in an oral candy store, essentially. And especially in this section, it is almost overwhelming how much goodness is happening in the audio. I'm going to go back a little bit more. Nice bringing back. I really love that they weaved back in some of that Beethoven into there. It's delightful. And with that same sort of trap beat underneath that they put in with the Hall of the Mountain King, it stitched it together extremely well. Ooh, she has the last page. Was she saying done? Where's the carrot? I have one really big question, and that is, where did she send them? Is this like Willow and she's exorcised exercise their souls into oblivion. I don't know. It creates so much intrigue. I feel like maybe we can perhaps expect another part to this series, which is delightful because I love the way that they've taken classical music here and made it just so much fun. It is delightful and it makes my heart so happy. So thank you so much to VoicePlay and to Rachel for this incredible performance and really awesome arrangement. And if y'all want to see some more analysis of VoicePlay, starting with I would say like the installment that is right before this one, check out this playlist over here and may you fall more in love with music every day. Mwah!